weather storm warning continues tonight for the Big Bend in South Georgia as snow and freezing temperatures linger in our area. First responders are working to keep the roads clear. Shelters are helping keep neighbors warm, and kids are enjoying the rare chance to make a snowman.
Kind of just hunker down and just help each other out.
Tonight, we're bringing you the latest on how long the snow and ice will last, how to stay safe if you have to leave your home, and when conditions will return to normal. We're also taking a live look at some of the snow in our neighborhoods, now at 11.
Well, good evening. I'm First to Know meteorologist Riley Winch. Welcome into your ABC 27 news at 11 tonight. And we're continuing to track very, very unusual, in some cases historic winter weather across the Big Bend in South Georgia. And we can take a closer look at this right now if we look over at our Titan Doppler radar. Now, we want to put this on our Weather Graphics 1 system. Wtxl right now is still seeing a lot of that rainfall, no snowfall accumulation yet. But if this one can get turned and we put it back on 1, that's where we have those graphics for this evening. And we can zoom in, and that is where we have Tallahassee starting to get a little bit more of that snowfall. Now, this isn't the most fluffy snow. This isn't the kind of snow you might see out in, near the Great Lakes, but this is still snow nonetheless, along with some sleet out there. And look at these heavy rain bands. They're starting to move past the freezing line, and that's going to bring a little spurt of some snowfall for parts of Gadsden County, Leon County, where we're lacking at this time. Thomasville's been getting quite a bit of snow as well. Looking into Tallahassee, some dry spots across the area, but most of the county over onto that snow side of things, even if it is coming down with some sleet pellets in there, with that mix farther off to the south and to the east. Valdosta, you're starting to see that snow creep into your area over the last couple of frames, so we're getting a little bit more of that frozen precipitation we're talking about. And this is our 6-hour estimated snowfall total. So this isn't exactly what is on the ground. This is what our radar has estimated that we've picked up in and across the area. Maybe a little bit high with that 3.1 inches that we're seeing at our ABC 27 studios, but still, we have had that sizable snowfall accumulation in northwest areas, and there have been as much as 5 inches reported in Gadsden County. Now, FSU's love building, we're not seeing too much accumulation, but there is a light dusting at least of some snowfall out there with what we could see on the solar panels. We could see on this surface of that cart. There is a little bit of white on top, which indicates there is some accumulation, and that accumulation will start to increase as we get a little bit more of that snowfall moving through the area. 29 degrees is that surface temperature in Tallahassee. We're below freezing there, below freezing on the roads in Valdosta, and we're starting to cool down, getting closer to the freezing mark in areas like Perry, Mayo, Madison, where we could be talking about the potential for some icy conditions later on as that surface temperature reaches the freezing mark. Seeing some heavy bits of snow in areas like Thomasville, Quincy, Bainbridge, so on the road, that's where we could start to see some snowflakes on the road. Not so much snow accumulation at this time on the roads in Tallahassee, but it is pretty icy out there, including over towards Valdosta and Monticello. Now, we're starting that change over to snow really getting into play now, so we'll get some steady periods of steady snow throughout the next, I'd say, 2 to 3 hours is what we have left of the steady stuff. And then 2 a.m. is when we start to see things taper off, some snow showers lingering early tomorrow morning in areas like Valdosta over towards Homerville as that moves out, and then very cold weather is behind that. This is that snowfall accumulation map, so we're expecting within areas like Soft Choppy to Tallahassee, maybe not quite that much in the Soft Choppy area, but Tallahassee towards Madison, Valdosta, Homerville, 1 to 3 inches of snow is still expected. Can't rule out a dusting in areas like Perry or Live Oak, becoming a lot less likely at this time, though, with freezing rain, the potential for the most serious threat out there. But 3 to 5 inches, we've met that in northwestern parts of the area. Some heavy snow starting to move through regions like Thomasville over towards Quincy. A little bit of a lull in that precipitation in Tallahassee, but it will start to pick up soon. Temperatures across the region falling below that freezing mark, and the feel-like temperatures even colder out there. So please bundle up, have that heat on if you can, because wind chill temperatures as low as 5 degrees early tomorrow morning. Now we're going to toss it off to Terry in southwest Tallahassee. Terry, what are you seeing out there?
time in a long time, there's snowfall in Tallahassee. I'm Terry Gilliam, your Southwest Tallahassee neighborhood reporter. I checked in on one cold weather shelter that's housed neighbors and how they plan to handle the overnight conditions.
After countless winter weather alerts, we're seeing the impacts. With the Big Bend and South Georgia dealing with ice and snow, warming stations and cold shelters are housing many neighbors. The Kearney Center has been one of many overnight cold shelters in Leon County. Now they're a hotbed for those who haven't stayed with them in the past. I spoke with CEO of the Kearney Center, Sonia Wilson. She tells me they've been preparing the best way they can to ensure all clients stay warm.
It warms my heart that people have taken heed and they're coming here, and we're going to be working around the clock as we always do, but we've got admin in the building on every single shift to maintain the safety and security of everyone.
Sonia says she hasn't seen crowds this big, but is happy neighbors are coming in to seek heat.
Those with the Kearney Center say it's important for neighbors to know that these shelters aren't just open for the homeless, but for those who don't have adequate heat as well. In Southwest Tallahassee, I'm Terry Gilliam for ABC 27. Now over to neighborhood reporter AJ Douglas, who's live in Bainbridge.
Thanks, Terry. Yes, I am live in Bainbridge, and I'm right off of Fayetteville Highway. So I am following directions by staying home. I'm just a few steps away from my home at this time because the roads, let's be honest, are just nasty. Earlier today, I checked in with Public Works and the police department, and they let me know that we are sharing the materials used to treat the roads with 5 other counties. So realistically, that could be some issues later on because the roads, as you can see, is really quiet. Nothing's being treated at this time because snow is still falling. It's still a little watered down at this point, but we did receive quite a bit of snowfall here in Bainbridge. Earlier today, I also was at First Baptist Church where they are accepting volunteers to just come so that they can keep their doors open to vulnerable neighbors like our homeless population here. They're providing a cot, food, and a warm place for them to stay. So if you can volunteer, you can reach out to Decatur County Emergency Management to make that happen so that you can volunteer tomorrow, because it looks like tomorrow is definitely going to be a snow day here in Bainbridge. I am going to continue tracking if there are any accidents or areas that people should avoid, but right now, from what we know from law enforcement, people should avoid the roads altogether. That's all I got. I'm going to toss it back. Live in Bainbridge, I'm AJ Douglas.
Tonight's winter weather led to several flight cancellations at the Tallahassee airport. All flights scheduled to arrive and depart after 3 p.m. today were canceled, and the airport suspended operations at 4 p.m. In a post on X, the airport said they would reopen tomorrow at noon. They urged travelers to check with their airline for their flight schedule.
Snow in Valdosta. Yes, you heard that right. It's 18 that flakes are falling here. I'm Malia Thomas, your neighborhood news reporter here in Valdosta, and here's how the storm is already changing life around town.
I said to myself, well, it's not going to snow in Valdosta. I said this to a lot of people, but if I would have bet some money, I would have lost today.
Neighbor Lewis Smiley says he noticed the snow began around 6:30, catching him and many others by surprise. As a result, many businesses in the city limits closed immediately. The streets are unusually quiet tonight as the Valdosta Police Department issued a travel advisory urging drivers to stay off the roads unless you have work, a medical emergency, or need essentials. EMA Lounge officials say up to 2 inches of snow and a 1/4 inch of ice can make travel dangerous through Wednesday morning. Over in our neighboring community of Dasher, Alexis Alexander is documenting the fresh snowfall at her house.
It is sticking. It's hard to see, but it's sticking on the ground.
While it is a magical sight for some, others are worried about road conditions. Smiley shared some advice for drivers.
They got to be good drivers and not just steering wheel holders.
With the snow continuing to fall and the roads becoming slicker, safety is the top priority. The Valdosta Travel Advisory will come to an end Thursday, January 23rd at 6 a.m. In Valdosta, I'm Malia Thomas, reporting for ABC 27.
As Florida deals with its own flurries, other parts of the South are seeing record high snowfall, and it's led to dozens of crashes on the roads. We'll take a closer look at the conditions across the region next.